Hey guys, sorry I haven't uploaded anything in a really long time. This is like the longest I've ever gone between uploads since I started uploading videos to YouTube. But yeah, don't worry, nothing bad happened. I didn't die or anything. Only my love for the game kind of did, because good God, I don't remember the last time we like had a good format in Master Duel, and like this one certainly is not it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I did hit Master One, but like that, like I guess I'll make a video on what deck I used it. Don't worry, it's probably not what you expect, so like look out for that. But yeah, anyways, speaking of bad formats, how about this tryout duel, right? The Master Duel beginnings, the launch meta. This is like, man, if you guys weren't playing at launch meta, like I guess you'll just have to take my word for how it was. But the number one thing people always bring up whenever someone like complains about the current meta, or like how the current format in Master Duel is so bad, is that they'll say clearly you haven't played during the launch format, because the launch format was a clusterfuck of like asinine and insane shit that should not be legal. And like, as someone who did play during Master Duel launch and did play in that format, I agree to an extent. Yes, there's so much shit in that was legal at the start of Master Duel that was not only should not have been legal, but like they were literally not legal in the TCG or the OCG. Like, they already knew those cards should be banned in both formats, but they for some reason left them legal for the start of Master Duel. I don't really know why, because they did ban them later, like pretty soon. Like on like the first ban list where they actually banned stuff. So like the second ban list, not the first ban list. Boy, that first Master Duel ban list was also a train wreck. But when they started banning cards, they immediately banned all the problematic cards that everybody was like complaining about in the first place. I don't know why they didn't just do it like whatever. So yeah, so here's an example of us. Here's a snapshot of what was fucking legal during the start of Master Duel. Like, good God, this isn't everything. I'm sure I've missed some like absolutely war crime stuff still, but like this is what I could think of like the biggest offenders. So like we have stuff like Union Carrier was legal. A lot of combo decks abused Union Carrier, most notably Adamantipator and Drytron, because Adamantipator would, you would equip Dragon Buster, Destruction Sword. It wasn't just Adamantipator at this anyway. Like, any combo deck could basically make Union Carrier equip Dragon Buster, Destruction to any dark monster, and then suddenly you would be floodgated out the game. You couldn't summon extra monsters. So yeah, that was fun. And Drytron. So there's a lot of things that happen with Drytron. The funniest thing is probably like the coin flip exploit, where like you could literally just infinitely, you could basically just always win the coin flip with Drytron, which that was about as cancer as that sounds. But yeah, Drytron also abused Union Carrier, because Union Carrier could like Ava, and then like get search like 3 Hero of the Orange Lights and so on and so forth on top of like other stuff. But on top of Drytron being probably like the most annoying ass combo deck to deal with at the start of Master Duel. Like some people are amazed that Master Duel survived the opening format, because I mean, like, you see the cards up here, right? So I mean, you had stuff like a Crossout Designator, which was at three copies, by the way. This was yeah, so you thought, boy, man, like going first was not good enough. You had to add three copies of Crossout Designator, and then you could cross out your opponent's crossout going first as well. So like, all of that. Just all the floodgates legal. Yeah, yeah. So we had Imperial Order and Vanity's Emptiness were both legal. Not only that, every other one of these floodgates, these were all at 3. These were all at 3 at the start of Master Duel. That was yeah. Also speaking of floodgates, we got the ultimate floodgate here. Yeah, this was legal at the start of the Master Duel, True King of all calamities. Yeah, this is the yeah. Do you like playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Because like I hope you don't, because you're not going to be able to when you play against Virtual World, making fucking calamities VFD, the very fun dragon, as it's popularly known as. Yeah, this is like, all this shit was legal. And I'm gonna like this might be it. This is gonna be my hot take though about the launch format. Okay, despite all of this stuff that was legal during launch format that definitely should not be. As someone who played during the launch format and someone who plays Master Duel now in its current format, like, I have to say, I actually prefer the launch format, the first format in Master Duel, over what we currently have in Master Duel, over what we've had in Master Duel for like the past year or so. Like, I'd actually much prefer the launch format over the current modern, quote unquote, the recent formats that we've had in Master Duel, because for like a couple reasons. One is that right now in Master Duel, the power level, like the power creep is so insane, is that every deck, like right now, plays through multiple hand traps of ease. Going second has never felt worse than it has now in this current Master Duel format. And I will say is that not every deck at the start of Master Duel was terrible to play against. Not every deck was super incredibly toxic. Obviously, there were some, like, obviously, but it didn't feel like every game was like just the same shit happening over and over again. Like right now, if I go play ranked right now in this current format, I'm probably gonna 70 or 80% of my games right now are probably gonna be against like some combination of Raizo, Malice, Mitsurugi, or Orchist. And like I know that's like 4 different decks, but realistically that's even less than 4 different decks, because a lot of those engines are just combined into one deck. So like you have Mitsurugi Raizo, Mitsurugi Orchist, Fiendsmith, Orchist, Fiendsmith, with like other stuff. Like all of those engines just blend into like some of them just blend into the same decks. Like there's even like less variety than it sounds. Okay, and all of those decks, insane going first, almost impossible to hand trap if you don't open a specific one. Like the win rate going second is like what 30% for most decks. It's fucking terrible right now. In the launch format of Master Duel, not every duel was like that, because despite there being all of this broken shit being legal, you still played against decks that were more quote unquote fair as well. Like despite all of this stuff, one of the best decks during the first format of Master Duel was Tri-Brigade. Okay, Tri-Brigade. Okay, this is Tri-Brigade compared to some of the other stuff you see on screen right now. It's nowhere near as toxic. And it was honestly made for some of like the best Yu-Gi-Oh! On Master Duel, because there's like, it's a mid-range deck. There's some back and forth gameplay. It makes a decent board. It doesn't make a super broken board. It doesn't make an FTK board. It also doesn't floodgate your opponent out of the game usually. Sometimes sometimes you would Samorg into Barrier Statue, which was that I guess that's another thing. So like some builds maybe were a bit more problematic than others, but like the main Tri-Brigade build, like Tri-Brigade Zoo Tri-Brigade, Rescue Cat Tri-Brigade, like that stuff was honestly relatively fine, and it wasn't unstoppable to hand trap. There were clearly defined choke points that you could hit to really reduce the impact of their board. You didn't have to. You could open no non-engine and still have a chance to win going second into it, depending on what deck you were playing. Like it wasn't just, if you open no hand traps, it wasn't just completely death sentence go next like it is right now. And another like popular deck during this time was like Pancakes, which is like the same thing. It's another deck that plays lots of non-engine. Doesn't make an insane end board. It was although funnily enough, there was like another issue with the launch format was that some cards were bugged, and like you have cards like Crank Hits Meow Meow Moo, where when you normally you can only Crank Hits Meow Meow Moo has this effect where if you attribute the effect to activate its effect, if you attribute a Prank Hits monster to activate its effect, you can use this card in the graveyard as a substitute for the tribute instead. You would only normally be able to do this once per turn. For some reason on launch, it said this was once per turn. It was really not. You could actually just banish multiple Prank Hits Meow Meow Moo from your graveyard to tribute for Battle Butler. Like even though you were only supposed to do one per turn, so like that was kind of weird. Like that was fixed shortly after. But yeah, like I guess that's like that's not really a problem with the deck. That's a problem with fucking Master Duel and like bugs and like implementation and stuff like that. But yeah, outside that, Prank Kids is a relatively fair deck. Doesn't put on FTK end board, so on and so forth. Has distinct choke points, and even like the combo decks. If you were playing a combo deck, there were drawbacks. Like sure you had a stronger engine, you could play through hand traps better than the mid range decks, but in exchange you would run way less non-engine, like decks like Emancipator, decks like Drytron. Emancipator would run 60 cards with Brass to see Block Dragon more often, but it would in exchange it would run like 8 or 10 hand traps in 60. Like that is a huge drawback. You making your deck is a lot harder to play going second. Same with Drytron. The reason why everyone abused the coin flip Drytron going first is because Drytron does not run near as much hand traps to help it go second as some of the other popular decks. And right now, if you look at a combo deck right now, you look at Malice being one of the best combo decks in the game right now. It can not only is it like one of the best combo decks, it can also play 17 hand traps. Like what the hell is that? Like that was not a thing with decks at the start of Master Duel. Okay, like that. The one card combos. The one card combos were like Prank Kids and fucking Tri-Brigade, like Revolt at pass and like Battle Butler pass. Okay, they were not fucking Dormouse. They were not X Rizio. They were not they were not Habakiri. They were not Orcus Girsu. Like nowhere near that stuff. If you wanted to achieve close to that level of power, you would have to play a deck that played more engine and relied on multiple card combos, not just one card combos. Like VFD. If you wanted to play Virtual World, at the very least, Virtual World did not have the most room for hand traps and require you to play multiple card combos in order to actually make BFD consistently. So like at least this was a thing. Like I'm not saying this was okay. No, I'm not. Don't get me twisted. I'm just saying is that a lot of the decks, if you just compare power level, it was way more reasonable back then. Even though all this shit is legal, yes. Even though this is toxic, the average gameplay was not nearly as bad as it is right now, in my opinion. Like, unless you played against Eldritch playing all these floodgates, then like that is like maybe the one exception where it's like, yeah, this was trash, and like this is something that doesn't really happen as much in current Master Duel format. That happened way more often at launch, which was I agree. Any deck playing all of this shit is like probably the worst experience you can have in Master Duel. But again, that was not every duel. And look at the loner decks. Okay, the loner decks they provided us. Some of these, like obviously these weren't like the most popular decks, at least these two, but these were decks that were played and were playable during this format, like Thunder Dragon, pure Thunder Dragon. This was played during the launch format. The Grand Maju, okay, what the hell is this build? I thought this was this is a weird build, but Grand Maju 8-axis was also played during this format. And Tri-Brigade Zoo is the one of the loner decks they provide you. I don't like this build, but like this was literally probably arguably the best deck of the launch format and one of the most played decks. It's not talking. It doesn't have any floodgate in here, and it's like a fair mid-range deck. And this was arguably the best deck at this time. So, yeah. Also, another thing, another reason why, and this is probably maybe even the more important reason why a launch format felt more bearable than right now. It's because the player base was bigger. Okay, right now, everyone knows about the Steam numbers. Everyone knows that Master Duel's player base is like has been dwindling for like nonstop for like a year straight, right? Or like for like months straight, and like we're hitting our record-breaking low average player numbers or whatever. But yeah, that means that most likely the people that are still playing Master Duel right now are basically mainly just the hyper competitive, sweats, tryhards, like yours truly, that are still playing this game. And most of the casual player base and like everyone else who just isn't trying to be super competitive, isn't trying to like top 100 every Duelist Cup, like those players are the ones that are leaving the game more likely. So because of that, you have a player base. You have a very competitive player base, and when the player base primarily consists of the most competitive people in your community, then the meta adjusts as such, because you're going to have more people playing what they are perceived to be strong decks or the best decks more often. Like for example, every time a new selection pack drops with a good selection pack, so like not the current one that just dropped, but like a new selection pack with meta defining cards. You know, like for the first week or so, after one of those selection packs drops, you're gonna just expect 80% of your opponents to just be playing like the newest, strongest meta deck on the ladder, and it's just like that alone is like just a very tiring experience if you ever tried to ladder right after a selection pack and you're not a fan of playing against whatever the newest meta deck is all the time. Like at this launch of Master Duel, we had not just the competitive players playing, we had everyone playing. We had more casual players playing. We had people who were like playing Yu-Gi-Oh for the first time in years. You had pet deckers who like didn't care about just grinding ranked lateral like nonstop. Okay, like these people. This diversity of the player base means that there's also more diversity in the decks that you play against. Like you could play against, like, sure, you could play against some new person who just got back in the game playing like the Dark Magicians or like the Blue Eye Structure deck, which that happens. But you also play against pet deckers who normally would not have did not really have an avenue to play like their pet deck in like real life for like whatever reason. Sometimes maybe they don't have a locus near them, like me, for example. When Konami dropped an official simulator, suddenly they had a place that they could play their actual pet decks officially, and not just like on random sketchy simulators online. So I didn't just play against these toxic ass decks. I didn't even play against just Tri-Brigade or just Prankets. I played against everything on launch meta because there was an actual variety, there was an actual diversity in the player base back then. Now that not so much. It doesn't really apply for right now. So anyway, all that yapping aside, like that's my take on the Master Duel's like first launch format and Master Duel right now. TLDR, I do prefer still the launch format over whatever we have right now. It was still, maybe it's a bit of a rose-tinted glasses looking back, like nostalgia from 3 years ago, but I did see myself having more fun back then playing Master than I do right now. Well, anyways, onto the deck that I'm playing this event. So we're going to be going back and playing my first ever deck that I built on Master Duel, and it's going to be this. So it's Dragonmaid. So this is the first ever deck that I built and took to platinum, to whatever the highest rank was, was platinum 1, which is, again, that's just a testament to like that's just a testament to how the format was, because a deck like this, Dragonmaid, was not considered high tier or even near high tier at all for like its entire existence in Master Duel. But this was something that I could comfortably get to the highest rank in Master Duel back then, and I was definitely a worse player 3 years ago than I was now. And even despite all of the toxic stuff I showed you that was legal, a deck like this was still viable because, again, for all the reasons I aforementioned before. Also, I took a big L making this deck because for those of you who didn't play at launch, in case you were wondering, that this Dragonmaid structure deck did not exist at launch. Okay, like it only came in a few months later. So me building this deck as my first deck in Master Duel, I crafted all of these extra deck URs that you would normally get from prefix in the structure deck. I had to fucking pull these and I had to craft these. So I took a gigantic L right there. And also, like, full disclosure, this is not the exact deck list that I played with at the start, because God was I not crafting 3 copies of all of these extra deck URs back then without the structure deck. So like I was not playing triple pot of extravagance. Instead, I was playing triple pot of prosperity instead, which is like a marginal difference, not that big of a difference, honestly. But this is probably going to be the last time I ever play Dragonmaid like this, because we just got new Dragonmaid support from the new pack. So like this is probably going to be the last time I play this pre-support. But yeah, this is my deck list. It's 50 cards because, quite frankly, this deck low-key has a lot of bricks in it and a lot of cards that you kind of don't want to draw. Like all of these big dragons, like these aren't necessarily bricks. They are useful as fusion material, but like those are like kind of combinations with other cards, like 2-card combos, and like it's the other combo you have, the other card you have this one up that you have to search it. It's like weird. You generally do not want to draw these over actual non-engine and also like Dragonmaid Titan, like yeah, you kind of need 3 for the grind game, but also you don't really want to open this going second because it's a trap card, but also it's a card that you want to run 3 of. So like that's like some contradictions in deck building with this deck, but yeah, it's so I just added more hand traps because hand traps worked back then. Hand traps did something. So yeah, I felt comfortable playing hand traps, and like this deck is literally just it's just an FTK deck, and by FTK I mean Seals Pass. That's the entire goal of this deck. If in your high roll hand you can end on Seals plus Tidying, and then Seals plus Tidying was an actual FTK against a lot of decks. Like you tell me how Tri-Brigade or Virtual World or fucking Prank Kids is playing through 2 bounces, right? Like that's the power level we're at. Like decks struggle to play through Seals plus Tidying, like unironically. Not to mention, I'm probably gonna have like hand traps in my hand, and yeah. So anyway, like the main engine is like it's pretty self-explanatory. Like Black Metal Dragon, it's a 1-card Seals. That's it. Like you make Seals turn 1 like 99-100% of the time almost. So 1-card Seals are good. Triple Parlor, Triple Chamber, because these are also 1-card Seals. Triple Kitchen. I know Kitchen sucks. It is like so bad. It's almost like it's terrible if you don't open it with any other Dragonmaid card. But at the same time, what's even worse than opening Kitchen is like not opening Kitchen and then not opening any other Dragonmaid name. And if you don't open a Dragonmaid name, you can't even pretend to play the game. Like Kitchen over 2 turns can potentially do something for you if you back it up with hand traps. If you don't open a Dragonmaid name, like you literally just are not doing anything. Like you're just passing it. Like a Dragonmaid name or like a Wait to Seals. You're just there's no Bestials back then. Bestials weren't for like another year or 2. So, yeah. And then I play Triple Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Greed plus a Pot of Prosperity because it's a royal. That's like kind of the only reason. But also it's a 50-card deck, so like you're not going to see multiple pots really that often. Triple Hospitality might be too much, but in this deck does kind of sort of go second if you don't open hand traps. Like Hospitality is at least another extender you can use to try and play through boards. And Triple Titan, and then 1 Downtime. This was my contention at the time to like all the Floodgates and all the back row decks. So like Downtime is mainly just for all the back row decks because this is just another bounce on the back row. So between Downtime plus Tidying, you could bounce 2 back rows during your opponent, or you can bounce 2 of your opponent's back rows every turn. That was usually enough to help you get the edge in back row matchups, especially if you went first. If you went first, you would bounce like 3 cards from 3 of your opponent's back row before they get a chance to even activate anything. So yeah, and well yeah, 1 changeover as to fuse. 1, yes, I'm playing Boot Sector Launch. If you're wondering why, 1, it's because it always lets me trigger Seals. Okay. One of the very awkward situations is that when you make turn 1 Seals and then your opponent like activates Regeki or Lightning Storm, or they set 5 and don't place a face-up card, and then your Seals is just sitting there. That's not good. Like the point of Seals, the reason why Seals is good in this deck is not really just because of the bounce. It's because it's E-Telly. Like you want to trigger E-Telly as much as you can, and if your opponent doesn't give you an opportunity to trigger E-Telly, then your deck is just way too slow. So Boot Sector Launch guarantees that. The other thing it guarantees is that it guarantees people fucking hand trap Striker Dragon. Like hand trapping Striker Dragon has been a good play for like any amount of time. But yeah, it's either gives you a free insurance for Seals, or it takes a hand trap out of your opponent's hand with Striker Dragon, which is even better. So yeah, feel free to imperm or ash my Striker Dragon so that I can add a brick to my hand. Nice, right? And yeah, hand traps. It's just like I'd play 3 Maxi. I don't have 3rd Maxi because we dismantled it. We dismantled it long ago. We have Valor, Ash, Nibiru. Nibiru was actually pretty decent back then. Triple Bell, because the main thing about this deck is you're trying to resolve Seals, and the main thing that prevented you from resolving Seals is Call by the Grave. So like Bell is anti-Call by the Grave. It's also like Bell is like a genuinely good hand trap this round. There's like every deck has something you can hit, like Drytron names. You can hit Drytron names from the graveyard. Prank Kids, you can hit the Bow Wow Bark thing that revives all of the Prank Kids so that they can have the material to fuse. Against Tri-Brigade, it hits the Revolt. So if you can have a way to deal with Appaloosa or prevent them from getting to Appaloosa, then Bell just like cooks their entire engine pretty much. Yeah, there's really, it's also really good against a lot of effects from Virtual World because they special summon from the graveyard, or they can, but just because they can, you can negate the only thing this is kind of really bad against is Adamantipator. Not gonna lie, I don't like this against Adamantipator, so yeah, that's kind of a downside. But you know, it is a diverse format. You can't compare for everything. And yeah, we have triple Imperm, Call by the Grave, and Cross Designator. Obviously, I don't know. I wouldn't play 3 Cross Designator in this deck in particular because this is not a deck that cares too much about maxi. Like, you have to maxi preemptively, and if you do, I'm like just passing on seals after you go -1, or passing on tidying after you go -1. Like, I'll take that exchange. Main reason I return cross out is just to cross out the fucking Call by the Grave. Like that's why. Like, the Call by the Grave is like where most of your losses will occur. Call by on the fucking seal. So like, you're trying to avoid that situation as much as possible. And yeah, the extra deck is just 3, 3, 3, 3 because of extract, and then like 3 random stuff. I don't know. I play Twin Dragon to make a fucking Nightmare Unicorn to go into Axis. I rarely go into anything besides these 4. So yeah, yeah, that's my first ever Master Duel deck roughly. So let's see how this goes. See if there's people still playing this event. Probably people already fucking finished it at the start, and now there's like not many people left to even queue against. Okay, go first. That's good. That's good. I wonder if any people still has a 3rd maxi or still has random. People are probably gonna craft floodgates because the floodgates are all SRs. So that might be an issue if you go second. Not gonna lie, but yeah, this hand is fantastic. Dog, let's go. Okay, now people might think I'm playing Dragon Link, and then they might scoop. So like, that's kind of also a reason to play Striker Dragon, I guess. Black Metal and Striker Dragon. Okay, Imperm my Striker Dragon, please. Wait, they didn't have an Imperm. They have Ash. Okay, Ash my Striker Dragon. Please, Ash my they were thinking about it. They were thinking about ashing the Striker Dragon. Yeah. Boop sector add Red Eyes. They didn't have a fucking response, so we're gonna go Darkness Metal effect. I'm gonna special summon Kitchen Dragonmaid. Hell yeah, Kitchen effect. Ash this, please, ash this. Thank you. Okay, I do not care about the fucking Kitchen Dragonmaid whatsoever. Alright, nice. And now we're gonna make seal, and now we have the FTK. Okay, we have seals plus tidying plus 2-handers. Like literally, how is any deck I launch supposed to beat this? Right? Like how are you beating this? Don't say Duster. Don't say Duster Dark Hole. Please don't say that. But yeah, this is like really hard to play through for most decks. Sure, you can have the tanky. I don't care about the tanky at all. Now I do have to worry about Call by the Grave, because if I get my seals Call by the Grave and I can't activate this tidying, I am a little cooked. So I guess have to play around Call by a little bit. You can sure. You're not using its effect. Okay. Sure. You know what? I'll let that go. Kind of want to wait until battle phase, because if you wait until battle phase, then okay, I guess you're just gonna. Okay, so this is the play around Called by. So I'm first gonna activate Tidying and then target the Trident. and then we're gonna chain seals. You can chain to the tiding. The tiding will still resolve. This is like an old trick. This way, if they call by the grave, I'm still fine. Yeah, I'm gonna ash that. Okay. And this is another reason why to put the boot second launch up. That way you can do this play and you don't have to worry about bouncing back your opponent's cards, or you always have a second card to bounce back to play around called by. Because Zoodiac, there's no barrage, so like I'm generally fine. And now we're gonna nurse special back the kitchen. Then kitchen, I'll add Ernest, and then I'll dump Ernest. That way, if they somehow manage to enter battle phase, you know, I'll get it back. But otherwise, yeah. I also might have game next turn if they don't have anything else. Okay, they have Nerval, sure. It's fine, you can add that, whatever. I have another hand trap. They don't have call by the grave. They would have called by the seals 100%, so yeah. Kit, they already normal summoned your Zoo Monster, I don't really care. Go ahead, use your Karas, and we're gonna Veiler this, and that should be game. Unless you have droplets, which would be a wild last card, but yeah, exactly. Now the Karas is too small to run over the kitchen Dragonmaid. Please enter battle phase. Okay, they're smart. They're smart enough to not enter battle phase versus Tri-Brigade. Ooh, or versus Dragonmaid. Tri-Brigade. So yeah, let's see if we have game actually. So you can go. What's that? They have one unknown card in hand. They have a Kit, which is whatever, that's not an so go Twin Triangle, summon back Red Eyes. Yeah, Twin Triangle Dragon. Summon back. Red Eyes. Nothing. Okay. It can't attack, right? Okay. So now we're gonna go into Nightmare Unicorn. And so this is not game yet, fortunately, so I'll pass on using this effect. They have Nib, this could be a bit awkward, but we're going to tidy now. Summon back Nurse. Nurse, revive, kitchen effect. You're gonna add and dump Tin Kek. I also haven't normal summon yet, which is very funny. So yeah, we're gonna add dump Tin Kek. They have a Nib, it's a bit awkward, but it should be fine. Access code with these two. Use access code effect. And we're gonna banish the light seals. And this is exact game. Kitchen Dragonmaid, special Tin Kek 27 plus 53. There we go. Yeah, Dragonmaid. Hell yeah. Yo, I so missed this gameplay. Yo, this is yo, this deck, I'm telling you guys, this deck cooked, okay? This was a viable deck during launch format. As like as like mid and underpowered as this looks, no, this deck was actually quite decent. I'm not gaslighting. Like that, I really like playing this deck for like the duration of however long this deck was playable for and actually usable. I enjoyed playing it like every time. Okay, sorry, I accidentally ended the recording without knowing. So unfortunately, this next video is just gonna be a replay, but no live commentary. Not that I really do that much live commentary when I'm thinking. Anyways, I've noticed. But yeah, we're against fuck meta. Well, what are they playing? Very nice. This is strongest stun hand. Normal summon Dyna Necro Valley pass. Sure, it's very funny because one Kitchen Dragonmaid beats this, but also, I mean, I'm in no rush, so I can Pot of Extrav and draw two. You see, imagine Pot of Extraving the stun player. Anyways, part of Dragonmaid. So I do have an out for this. I have hiding and downtime like this. I really don't care, to be honest. It's gonna take a couple turns. My opponent summons Thunder King. That's gonna complicate things a bit. I Veiler I don't know why I Veiler the Fossil Dyna at the same time. I should have Veiler the Thunder King Ryle. Also, like, it doesn't fucking matter because what else am I gonna Veiler? Anyways, because they summon Fossil Dyna, they summon Thunder King. That's a big mistake. So we can hiding, bounce back the Fossil Dyna, and then I'm gonna downtime. Just activate it, keep it face up on the field. I probably shouldn't have done this because all I can do is bounce out the Necro Valley, which is going to activate anyways. But yeah, now they have no more Fossil Dyna for a turn, which means that yeah. Also the Necro Valley I can just bounce on my turn, so it's also not big a deal. Also I hard draw the well we hard drew the Tenkek. So like what I was gonna do was I was gonna normal summon Parlor, dump Tenkek, and then like Hospitality, special summon Nurse, bounce back the Necro Valley Nurse, attack over, like, they do all that complicated shit, but instead I just hard drew the Tenkek anyway. So anyways, then I'm just gonna normal summon Parlor, and then gets Ashed, cool. I don't know why the hell you're playing Ash Blossom in your stun deck. That's probably why you don't have any back row. If this was Floodgate instead, that would have helped you out. So I enter battle phase, use Part Dragonmaid to pet, get Max Seed. Very nice Maxi. Yeah, here's how they're gonna draw off the Maxi. So I'm gonna special summon the King Tech, and I'm just gonna attack over the Thunder King. And yeah, boom. Then I'm gonna downtime, add the King Tech back to my hand, and add Earnest back to my hand. Not gonna special summon anymore on this turn. On my opponent's turn, draw phase, I'm gonna use Earnest. Earnest special summon the Part Dragonmaid. On my opponent's turn, summon an attack position, and then send Kitchen Dragonmaid. And now they're one Fossil Dyna cannot out a Parlor Dragonmaid with a Tenkek in hand. Like, this is just not possible for them to out whatsoever. So yeah, they're gonna normal summon Fossil Dyna, not re-Tenkek, and then run into the Tenkek. Nice. And then end phase, we're gonna downtime, bounce back the Necro Valley. Yeah, that's... Well, usually it's not that simple. Usually we're gonna have to fight through back row first, but, you know, the point is, if you establish tidying plus especially downtime, which I luckily hard drew, yeah, nice. that was how you dealt with back row decks and stun back in the day. Like you had a decent matchup against everything else. Just going second versus stun is like probably the worst thing you can do. You could be facing in the format. So like, yeah, that was one way. That's one contingency. Yeah, so the duels weren't really like the main part of this video, anyways. I just kind of wanted to do a little discussion on the Master Duel formats and reasons why I find the current Master Duel formats so miserable, and why I think that that they're even worse than the early Master Duel formats with all of this broken stuff legal. Just because, like, literally, I think the power creep matters more than the ban list. I guess saying that out loud now, that kind of seems like an obvious statement, like duh. But all of the legal stuff, all the ban stuff, all the toxic, non-fun cards legal in the release format, I still enjoy myself playing Master Duel on release way more than I do Master Duel right now. So, like, you know, let me know. I guess I'm probably not gonna have much people that played Master Duel for like the entire 3-year lifespan. But if you have, let me know if you feel the same way. If you enjoyed Master Duel earlier more than now, or like if you like the early formats with all the ban cards still more than you like the current format with all of these overpowered decks. And you know, if you haven't been playing Master Duel this entire time, you know, let me know how long you've been playing for, and like whether you know you're whether you also enjoyed playing Master Duel more at the start of your Master Duel playing career versus like the currently now. But yeah, it's honestly I'm just stalling for a balance, bro. Like we gotta get this balance in the next few days. It's not gonna do shit. I'm not. I don't even know why I get my hopes up, but yeah. Thank you for watching, and thank you for I'm not dead. Thank you for you know, watching. If you know, sticking with me and not unsubbing, if you, in case you thought I was, just a PSA. But yeah.